Hey guys, welcome back to Missildine Online. This is the first video in an ongoing series of the World of Warcraft starting zones, and the first one we're starting with is the worst race in the entire game, the Gnome. Yeah, that's right. It's fact, the worst race in the entire game. Now a little bit about Gnomes. They joined the Dwarves actually for a little bit, and they weren't in Warcraft 3 to any major extent, unlike most of the other races that are currently in the game. Even the Draenor were in Warcraft 3 in the expansion. The Gnomes were actually one of the last races developed for World of Warcraft in Vanilla before Vanilla came out. And that's actually why they were not included in the cinematic that is shown when you first play the game and you see the Tauren doing his little thing and the Dwarf Hunter and blah blah blah. You never see Gnomes because they actually weren't created at the time of that cinematic, but they wanted to balance the races, have the same amount of races on each, with the Horde having the Orc, Undead, Tauren, and Trolls, and the Alliance at the time only having Human, Dwarves, and Night Elves. They added the Gnomes to increase that. Now, Gnomes may escape from speed-altering effects, but that racial is not as good as the human racial, every man for himself, I believe, where they get out of any speed-altering, any movement-altering, any CC, basically, humans can break. Gnomes, it's a little bit more subjective. They have an increased mana pool. This used to be a boost to intellect, making them the premier best caster you could possibly have. The increased mana pool is still very good, especially since there is now a cap at 90. There is a 300,000. I believe they get 305,000, I believe, at cap. They're resistant to arcane damage, which isn't that big of a deal. Engineering skill is increased, although it doesn't really matter. It really only matters if you're working on the profession, to be frank. Increases expertise with daggers and small swords. As a rogue or something like that, that would be good. A warrior, it would be good. Monk, Death Knight. For everything else, though, you're probably not going to be using this. Now, in Cataclysm, they introduced a new priest. Gnomes can now be priests in Cataclysm, and with Mist of Pandaria, they introduced monk. And of course, Wrath of Lich King, Death Knight. But who wants a Gnome Death Knight? I mean, look how awful they are. Just look how awful. Now, if you are going to roll a Gnome, the way to go is you want to roll a female Gnome, because their voice isn't going to make you want to murder puppies. The male ones, you're going to want to murder puppies. So, without further ado, let's enter into the Gnome starting zone. And I will let the opening video play, because I feel like that's an excellent lore background without me having to summarize it too much.
Given the recent political upheaval in Ironforge, the Gnomes have suddenly found themselves unwelcomed guests within the city. Leveraging their ingenious technologies and unquenchable spirit for adventure, the Gnomes have begun to reevaluate their role within Cosmodan. Under the inventive leadership of High Tinker Gelbin Mekatork, the Gnomes now plan a daring campaign against the barbarous Trogs to retake their former capital of Gnomeregan. With the odds stacked against them, the Gnomes are counting on brave heroes such as you to stand and be counted. Your people's greatest hour draws near.
How's that for an opening cinematic into Gnomeregan? So, as a gnome, you now start off in Gnomeregan, with Cataclysm anyway, so it's been 2 expansions and I'm now making this video. Just shush and watch it. So, you start off in Gnomeregan now, or at least the trying to be reclaimed Gnomeregan. So, that's about it. Now, I will not be reading the quest text out loud. I feel like people can pause and read it themselves if they're that inclined. But basically, the first quest is to kill 6 crazed leper gnomes. Because, as you can see, things went horribly wrong, and the gnomes are now lepers, which is not good. So, you're gonna want to just plain old kill 6 of these guys. and move on. Now, at the beginning of Cataclysm, right before Cataclysm was released, there was actually a thing known as Operation Gnomeregan that was done for Alliance-only characters. That was a way to introduce you into the idea that gnomes were trying to reclaim their homeland, their home city. At the same time that the gnomes were doing that, there was also an operation to reclaim the islands for the trolls. And because of that, the trolls will be the next starting zone video being released. So almost immediately after this one, the troll video will also go up. So anyways, let's get on to terrible gnomes. Now, gnomes are the technological geniuses of the Azerothian world. Azerothian? I know people say goblins, you know, goblins are the prime engineers too. No, they're not. They're not. Everything they touch blows up. Why is that good? At least gnomes have functional equipment that actually works. You know? You know what I mean? So, once you kill those 6, come on over here and turn it in.
Hey, daylight's burning. You have a great day now.
Now you're going to want to report to Carvo Blastbolt. Remember, if you really want to read the quest text, just give it a pause. Any other killing quests from here on out will be just skipped over. So come up here to Carvo. We're going to want to use the teleport beacon to teleport 6 survivors to safety. I'll show you how to do the first one, and then we're going to skip ahead. Come over here, click this, and boom. See you once all 6 are saved. Oh, something else I should say. You don't have to kill these guys if they're yellow. Just saying. I've never noticed this before, but they have a flux fire feline here that you can battle. I've never seen this pet before, so I would try to get it. I'm gonna kill it. I'm gonna kill it. Oh, good. Okay. But I've never seen this pet before, so if you have pets, or if you're new to the game, you might not have pets. But if you do, try to capture one of these. I've never seen them before. Just weaken it a bit, just like Pokemon, and then throw a Pokeball at it. Cool. I've never seen that pet before, so that's cool. It's a poor quality, but whatever. I don't care. And once you're done, come back up here to Carvo. Look at that, we leveled up. Now we want to continue this way. We have our safe operative with us. We want to go to the loading room. We're supposed to follow him, but if you know where to go, you can just head there without too much trouble. We don't want to go this way. This way, I believe, is to the actual instance if you were to go into the instance. And that's right. For everyone who's a new player, Gnomeregan is actually a instanced dungeon in the game, a 5-man dungeon for around level 25 to 30.
Goodbye now.
And then we have to board the Sanitron 500. Because see how we're irritated when we have this thing? Irritated. Exposed to high levels of radiation and in danger of degenerating into a leper gnome. As if being a gnome wasn't bad enough. Climb on to the Sanitron. See, this is what I mean. Gnome technology actually works. Sure, they created the worst nuclear disaster of our time, but hey, it's fine. It's totally cool. No big deal. Has anyone noticed that I have a summon demon thing on my... I'm a mage, not a warlock, so I don't know why that exists. That was weird. Look at that, and now we look normal. We lost this debuff, and the Sanitron is now broken. We were the last people to go on it. This guy's screwed. Sorry, Glaho. Come talk to this guy. And then he's gonna want us to go right on up. Oh no, there's an elevator boss this early in the game. That's not good. It's not good. Now, sometimes when you run onto an elevator, you want to just jump. Make sure you're, you know, at the right height of it. Trust me, sometimes it leaves without you and then you die. So I'm gonna go this way. I can smell the fresh air. To the surface. Look at this. Ah, there's a lot of guns pointing at us. And then, New Tinkertown. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, but I'm fairly sure you saw a bit of New Tinkertown being created before Cataclysm launched in the Operation Gnome that was happening. So right here is a mailbox. If you sent heirlooms, there's actually one previously that I should have pointed out, but there is one right when you start that you can get your heirlooms out of and blah 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 if you have it. So this New Tinkertown functions as virtually a little city for your character with everybody you can need here. And look at this.
Greetings.
It's Z, Friend the Small.
May your days
Monk
bring
Trainer.
joy.
They added her in Mist of Pandaria. Just thought I'd point that out. But, again, who wants a gnome? So you talk to Nevin Twistwrench, and he's gonna
Have a great day now.
send you to Frostflinger, which is right up here. And there's actually the Gnome Boss is right here. The leader of the gnomes. High Tinker Mechantork with 348 million health. I can solo him. He is a gnome after all. So you come up here and you talk to Bipsy Frostflinger. She is your trainer. She will give you a quest to
You have a great day now.
learn Frost Nova. So you have to hit level 3 to learn that.
My Irritable.
And she's also got How Do I Reset? These are all questions you can ask her if you so choose,
Very well,
but
then.
it's the same across all characters, obviously. So come on down here and introduce yourself to the Gnome Leader. Look at his Mechatork's Mechanostrider back here. Looks pretty hot.
Necessity is the first cousin of invention.
See, his voice isn't bad if only the other gnomes had that voice. Watch the holo table in front of High Tinker Mechantork to learn about Operation Gnomeregan. This is the operation that I was telling you guys previously.
We assembled a mighty force and defeated Thermoplug's servants, fighting our way into the city. But the usurper Thermoplug had one last trick up his sleeve. It's too quiet.
Too quiet.
Are Thermoplug's defense forces? It's a trap! That's a fully functional irradiator!
Irradiator 3000 activated. Attention, emergency. You now have 10 minutes to reach minimum safe distance.
10 minutes? Plenty of time to disarm the device. Hinkles, hand me that whirring bronze gizmo and some fresh spring water. Cogspin, toss me that dirty Tron cloth and a handful of copper bolts.
What's funny is I'm pretty sure all of those things are actual items in the game.
You left the factory setting on. Give me that controller, you idiot! Attention, emergency. You now have 10
We gotta get out of here. Lap forward, beam us back.
Beam us back! Beam them up, Squatty. Squatty? And there you go. That was Operation
We were
Gnomeregan for you.
forced to retreat. Thermoplug continues to hide behind the radiation, sending his crony Crushcog to harass us here on the surface.
Alright.
Welcome, friend.
Welcome. Hey. Now we're gonna go speak to Engineer Grindspark. It'd be great if we could hit level 3. Now, if you had BOAs, you'd definitely be level 3 by now. But, what are you gonna do? So come up here, talk to Engineer Grindspark, who's just standing on one of these bolts.
Right.
And quickly, if you go around here... Oh, I don't have auto loot on. So one thing that you would want to do is go to auto loot. Hit auto loot. At this level, you're not going to run out of bag space that fast, so might as well have it. So basically, I'm going to speed this part up. You're just going to go around collecting all of the spare parts. You can see them shimmering slightly in the snow, but it's going to be a little bit harder to see them than it normally would in any other terrain. This is actually a fairly good time to mention that if you roll a warrior as a gnome, you get a really cool sword. And I saw someone previously with it. I don't see him around now, but he has the sword. It's called a very lightsaber, I believe. And basically, it is a lightsaber. Yeah. Alright, and then he's going to fix his robot, and we're going to take his robot. This one's ours. So he's going to fix it, whatever he's got to do, and we're going to go clean up some irradiation. Retrieve 6. I don't want to join that. That's something else that's really annoying, is no guild invites. Now, if you are invited to a level 25 guild, absolutely do it, because you get a lot of bonuses to experience and some other things, so that's well worth having. What's that one? Reach level 3. So you don't have to kill these guys. I believe this person over here will give us a quest that will involve killing these guys, the living contamination. Yep. So what you're going to want to do here is kill the living contaminations. And not only do you want to kill them, but you also want to go into these little blah here. And there will be bubbles, which are clearly not here right now. Interesting. So kill these guys while you're waiting for the bubbles or whatever to go, because they have stuff that we need. Recovered possessions. So you want to kill 6 of these. They will drop recovered possessions every single one that you kill. So you're going to want to do that. This is the guy that has the lightsaber, by the way. I have to show him. I have to. Look at that. Look at that sword. Ah, best sword in the game. The only way you can have it, though, is by being a gnome warrior and going through the starting zone. Okay, so because this guy's doing the quest at the same time, the bubbles actually aren't coming up. But in these pools, you'll see when I speed the video up, these little like globules of darker green. Basically, you want to go in those and just stand with your robot in them, and you'll be fine. But in the meantime, continue killing these guys and collecting the possessions. Here we go. Here are those globules. If you just come over here to this one, and you can just stand in it, and he'll clean it all up. Woohoo! Alright, and now I'm going to speed up. Those are the 3 quests that you have. As long as you do those, you can finish this up and move on with the gnome starting area. Now, once you have learned Frost Nova, take a second real quick, just use it. You only have to use it twice, and that's all. Now, Frost Nova is, here's the tooltip, blast enemies within 12 yards of the caster for 14.50 frost damage and freezes them in place for up to 8 seconds. Damage caused may interrupt the effect. This is very useful for getting away, because as a mage, you are you're a glass cannon as a mage, to be honest. Unless you're Frostspect, in which case you have some means of getting away from there. But early on in the game, the best way to get away, we have all the recovered possessions. The best way to get away from any attacker, a melee attacker especially, obviously, because caster is going to be able to hit you no matter what, is to use Frost Nova and then run. Just run fast. Now, a note on these living contaminations, if you kill any that are below a certain amount of health, it's not going to count towards your, like these guys aren't going to count. They have to be, I believe, above half. So this guy will count. You can kill him. But definitely feel free to use these guys to help you kill those. Now, what I like to do is do all of the quest and then go all at once to turn them all back in. I find that that's the best way to do it. It's the most efficient for me anyways, so. Alright, let's clean up these geysers. I just noticed actually that the has to be done, the Frost Nova has to be done on the training dummies. So that stinks. Just a minor note. Alright, and geysers are done. As soon as the geysers are done, head back to where you were before. Oh, look at the flux fire felines are all over the place. I don't know why I've never noticed that before. The flux fire and the irradiated roach might actually be the only times that you can actually get those. So, if you're here, I would suggest getting the irradiated roach and the flux fire feline, just to, you know, increase your pet count. There we go. Irradiated roach has now been added to my pet journal. That's good news. Because I love my pets, so much. Now, you can come over here and turn in this quest. This one is for the living contaminations. Just come over here. Go into your bags and equip Fallout cover. Make sure you equip your gear as soon as you get it. Unless, of course, you have BOA, in which case, sell that stuff because it's awful. Alright, so come over here to these training dummies real quick. Right here, and hit 2. Boom. Got all 3 with 1 Frost Nova. Not bad. Then you want to come up here to Bipsy Frost Flinger. Say that 10 times fast.
Pleased to meet you.
And you will get the Electro Staff, which is a new awesome looking staff. Not really, it looks dumb. And then come over here, talk to the engineer who gave you the robot.
Interesting. Right.
Turn that in, and come down here to the stolen possessions. And turn that in.
You have a great day now.
Using his notes, I think I've perfected a process for restoring gnomes who've devolved to sludge. What? Is he gonna do it? Let's give this a try. Goggles, everyone. I don't have goggles. I don't have them. Let's see what happens. Why aren't we funding this? So there you go. Gnomes are officially the best engineering race. Goblins, you can go die. Let's come over here and talk to Captain Shred Sparknozzle. What a name. What a name. And now we go and meet our first dwarf. Just follow along this road right up into Frostmane Hold, and you'll see the dwarf with the big question mark over his head. See you there. When the path forks like this, make sure you go left. No, your other left. And come talk to Jessup McCree. That's the first dwarf. He wants us to go get us explosives and capture, free the captured demolished. Look how small we are. Ugh. Gnomes. Disgusting. Ugh. I hate when there's people already questing. So we have to kill these guys to recover our stuff. So let's just do that. Now you don't have to worry too much about health at this point of the game because it's designed to just kind of literally walk through. Here's a quest. Or a cage. So you want to come over here, free those guys, and just keep going. Also, can we talk about how these guys, if you takes you too long to kill them, they punt you. Yes, they punt. They actually punt you. I've always wanted to punt a gnome. I feel like they deserve it. I really hate gnomes. kill this Trog. Now, obviously, the starting zones are designed for new players in mind. The only ones that aren't necessarily designed for new players are the Worgen and Goblin starting zones, and I would even argue that the Pandaren is even designed for newer players. So, and here we go. I don't know why, but I just dropped like 40 frames for a second there. Alright, just continue on. I'm going to speed up this part of the video. The Snow Cubs as a pet, after you freed your 6th person, you can go back to the dwarf, by the way. But the Snow Cubs that you see walking around actually aren't... I'm pretty sure you can come back and get them at any point, which means odds are you can probably get the starting zone pets too. But since pets are account-wide, if you're leveling a gnome, or you're starting a gnome and you're another, you have a 90 main or something like that, or a different main, yeah, might as well capture the pet while you're in the area, since it's account wide. So, just a thought.
Watch your back. Safe travels.
All right, detonate Trug tunnel, and yeah, Trog. Come on, Corey, you can speak. So, just come on over here where this map is, right to the cave. Go in here. You guys may remember, back before Cataclysm was released, the dwarves and the gnomes actually shared the exact same starting zone. It was very obvious, at least to me, that the gnomes were added late. You could tell that they were added very late to the game. Which is okay. You know? Things happen. So, we want to wait for Boss Brogor to respawn. He's on a fairly short respawn timer, so it's okay. Then we want to come over here, blow this up once it's back. Ah! So we're just gonna wait for Brogor to respawn. But as I was saying, there we go, I got first hit on him. So as I was saying, the dwarfs and the gnomes shared the same starting zone, which was actually terrible, to be honest. The gnomes weren't given any story, really. It was boring, to be honest with you. It was very boring. At least the dwarves in their own starting zone had some resemblance of character. Gnomes were just thrown in there. I didn't even know that High King Mechatork was actually a thing until around Cataclysm, and I started in 06. Now, I knew that he was the leader in Ironforge. I know that sometimes you would see him there. But, and this is the way out, don't go any other way. I never actually saw him. He was in Tinkertown, though, which is in Ironforge. It's like where, right by the Deep Run tram when you come in. That's where he is. That's the only other gnome area, by the way, in the game that I can think of off the top of my head, is that area. Just letting you know. So anytime you have a quest reward like this, you have to select the quest and then complete it. What's cool here is that it's in Pandaland, it changes a little bit and you actually get whatever you would get. So, there you go. Now we're going to bring our report back to High King Mechatork. He's not a king, I don't know why I keep saying king, but make sure you go and equip those bracers, so you don't have any equipped right now. And what they aim to do by the end of the starting area is to have most of these filled up except for your rings, trinket, and necklace, and head. Okay, see you at High King Mechatork. Speed this part up. I am going to join this guild just because it's level 25. Might as well. You just want to come up here. Again, to High Tinker Mechatork.
Why, hello there. How can I help?
And boom, shakalaka. And now we need to kill all 8 of Crushcog's minions at Crushcog's arsenal. You may kill irradiated technicians or Crushcog's battlesuits. There's another quest right here. Make sure you get all the quests before you go anywhere, because they usually all have to do with the same spot. So once you have those 2 quests, you can just go this way, follow this road, all the way to Crushcog's arsenal. Maybe if my legs were bigger, this wouldn't take so long. This actually reminds me, and this is a good thing to point out. Cinda posted, I don't know if you guys can see the quest chat that, or the chat log that well. He said, made a new tune on this realm because all the starting zones were packed. Here's the deal with the starting zones now. You will see a ton of people in them, and it's because of the cross-server stuff that they have done to low-populated areas in the game. This starting zones are absolutely a low-populated area, so you will see a lot of people in there. I just thought I'd point that out. So you're going to come over here, and you're going to plant these bombs next to these repaired mechano tanks. So just like before, you go over here. If you don't have it, you can go into your bags and just, you know, click it there. There are some issues with this because as you can see, almost everybody is dead already. So I can't actually do anything, but at least the tanks are still there. So you kill these technicians or the other ones. Make sure you loot, because at this point of the game, any copper you have is just nice. You don't have to train anymore. You used to have to train your skills. You don't have to do that anymore. Now, normally I would say get out of this. This is literally standing in the fire. But it honestly doesn't matter at this stage of the game. I wish it would. I guess it'd be too hard. But just, you know, do a little more damage. Alright. So, just keep going around doing that. And then once you're done, head back to where King Mechatork was. Alright, and as soon as you're done with that, head right on back. If you get aggro like this, you can just keep running and they'll stop. Or you can use Frost Nova and gain some distance. Can I just point out, I just thought I'd do this. The movie Wild Wild West, this is what this is. It's from Wild Wild West. Fact. Will Smith made the game.
Welcome, friend.
And come on back here and you can talk to these guys. Have this all situated. Free body belt. You're definitely going to want to equip that belt because you don't have one currently equipped. And we hit level 5. Level 5 as a mage gives us this new ability called Fire Blast, which is a instant spell, which is good to have. Definitely good to have, especially if you're in PvP or anything like that. You also get Scorch at a later date. That's also really good because you can move. Alright, and once you have that, you're going to want to go down to speak to Jarvie Shadowstep at Brunel Village. Brunel? There's nothing left in New Tinkertown for us, by the way. So you're going to want to come down here to this village. Before we start this quest, you can come over here and talk to this guy. You won't have to repair anything, but I suggest just going into your bags, especially if you don't have a lot of room, and just selling anything that's gray or white at this point. Unless you can equip it. If you just go ahead and do that, you'll be fine. Come over here and talk to Jarvie Shadowstep, who is obviously a rogue. And he wants us to go blind 5 sentry bots. And I believe he's the only quest in this area. Yes. So you want to come down here. But before we do that, or is there? Oh. There's a guy here that sells fishing poles. Although you no longer need fishing poles in the game. So, just blind the sentries, just come over here and use your thing, just like you would with those bombs, with the tanks and the previous stuff, the Survivor. They introduced this mechanic fairly early on. This guy doesn't know what he's doing. He's killing them instead of blinding them. That's okay. He'll learn. I should be nice and just tell him how to do it, but maybe he wants to kill him. I don't know. So once you're done with that, you want to come back here and talk to Shadow Step. Another thing I forgot to mention is if you go to your little magnifying glass, you can hit townsfolk and hit profession trainers. A mailbox might be helpful for you, whatever you want to do here. If you're new to the game, I highly suggest using that feature to find anything around. That's something I'm going to mention in every starting zone video that I do, just as a way. Now, this game was designed, something else I should say for new players, this game was designed as a hotkey MMO, obviously. Razlo Crushcog defeated. That's what we have to go do. Cool. So we want to come up here. Look at this. The fight's already started. Okay, that sucks. I can't show you guys that then. Maybe I will. Yeah. Okay. There will be somebody to talk to right here, so you're gonna wait until this happens, and it'll start an event. But look at this. The Ironforge Mountaineers, the Dwarven Mountaineers, and the Gnomeregan Infantry have decided to team up to take down what's his name? Crushcog. Okay, I'm gonna wait here until the thing actually happens. Okay, so like I was saying, if you come up here, you can see High Tinker Mechtork is here. Normally, you come here, you say, I'm ready to start the assault.
Mechgineer Thermoplug refuses to acknowledge that his defeat is imminent. He has sent Razlo Crushcog to prevent us from rebuilding our beloved Gnomeregan. But our brave friend here has thwarted his plans at every turn. And now the dwarves of Ironforge stand with us. Let's send him crawling back to his master in defeat.
Mountaineer Stonegrind doesn't have a voice actor. Alright, so once you're up here, you can use this to now target an area. That's what you want to do. You definitely want to target him throughout this fight. And High Tinker Mechtork will do a really good job of doing that. So as I was saying before we started this, there's a fishing trainer right over here, by the way. So, as I was saying, what you want to do, because this is a hotkey-based MMO, it was designed that way. Oh, did it too soon. Now we can do it. There we go. So look at how much damage that does. Now he's gonna send you little ads. What this does is it acts as a raid boss, right? Something you don't actually experience until later in the game. This is one of those things. Now normally these would be players. What he does is he sends these at you. These are called ads, to keep you distracted from actually attacking the boss. We should do a couple more of these. One more, it might work. Turn around, make sure you kill these technicians so they don't hurt you. Now you guys are going to see a giant parallel if you watch this video and then you watch the troll starting area. There's a lot of parallels between them. Take him down. There we go, he's dead. That'll teach you to mess with the might of Ironforge and Gnomeregan.
Done it! We
Woohoo!
Crush Cog defeated, Thermoplug is sure to be quaking in his mechano-tank. And rightly so. You're next, Thermoplug. You're next!
Now, Thermoplug actually can't leave his tank and walk around because Mechatork over there cut off his legs. Yes, he cut off his legs when Thermoplug tried taking over. Now, over here is a fishing trainer. If you have enough copper, come over here and train fishing. Because it's the most useful skill to have in the entire game. I'm just kidding. If you're a new player, don't actually believe me on that. It's not. It's not. It's just not. Don't do it. So anyways, like I've been trying to say, MMO was designed... World of Warcraft was designed as a hotkey MMO. Meaning that all of your abilities are supposed to be, it's most efficient to not click on them down here like ba 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 ba, but to actually hit with the keyboard which numbers correspond, what letters correspond to whatever the action ability actually is. I spent way too long when I first started this game actually clicking on things, which, as you can tell, like just going down and hitting this one or this one is a lot slower than hitting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, you know. So yeah. Something that I think newer players might not know starting off, to be honest with you, right away. So come over here after we defeated Crush Cog, and now we're on to Chronos. And they're gonna do a nice little thing for me.
Reslo Crush Cog is no more. The people of Ironforge and Gnome
Woohoo!
Hear us well, Thermoplug. The day of your defeat approaches.
All right. So now we have our next quest, the road to Chronos or whatever. This is actually where your journey begins outside of the starting area. What I'm going to do is I'm going to speed up this part of the video, show you guys how to get to where we're going. And that's it. These guys, so you just want to follow the road. And you're going to follow the road right out of here.
Great to meet you. See you soon.
Make sure you grab this quest because it's just on your way to Chronos, so you don't have to come all the way back for it. It's a quick, easy experience points. Now, this is actually where your starting zone as a gnome meets the starting zone, basically, of the dwarves. Once you get to this nice little town, there you go. See, you can see down here, Anvilmar, Cold Ridge Valley. This is the dwarf starting zone, which we will see in a next video at some point. So just come on down here, follow your quest. This is the inn. You want to go in there, say hello. And that's the end of the gnome starting area. Thank you for joining us right here at Missildine Online. I hope you enjoyed seeing the starting area before Warlords of Draenor it comes out, the old character models, stuff like that. I'll do an updated video if anything changes to the starting zones in Warlords. That's about it. Stick around, subscribe, share the channel, like the video, whatever you want to do helps tremendously. I plan on doing every race's starting zone in World of Warcraft Mist of Pandaria. So, without further ado, goodbye. And remember, never give up, never surrender.